Okay, so we've fixed the problem from before. I've added the zeros in, and now you'll notice that the chart now includes the 0, 0. You can always feel free to do this on labs like this because we know that if there is no M2, there is not going to be a velocity tangential. It's not going to go in a circle. As a matter of fact, if you try to do that without a M2, which would be causing the tension, it's probably going to fly across the room and hit someone in the head, which, while humorous, is not probably going to help us in the lab. Now, as I said before, at the beginning of this, we are doing these things right here. We're, of course, doing you already have the data. We've just finished the graph, and you want to know how to do the equation really quick? Well, great thing about this is I'm going to show you how to do linearization in a second because it's useful for other reasons. But as a matter of fact, you almost don't even need to do it to find the equation now. Now, all you got to do is we have our graph right here, and you're going to go up here and hit Insert. And then right down here, whoop, I lied. I gotta click this first. Okay, now that it's selected, now I can click Insert. Maybe I lied again. Well, let's see. If we see this one more time. Okay, good. Now I've double clicked it. It's highlightable, and now I'm going to be able to edit it. So now I insert. Now, I didn't lie this time. Hit trend line. And you'll notice I have several options here. So the computer doesn't exactly know which type of function this is. We have linear, which is of course straight line, logarithmic, which is your logs, the natural logs, things like that, exponential, which is e to the x, of course, and power is really what we're looking at here, because you know that a square root function is just x to the 1/2. And then right here, what's really nice is I'm just going to show equation, and then show the coefficient r squared, which we'll talk about that in a sec. That's a statistics thing. I'm not going to talk about how to solve that, but it's very useful when talking about these things. So, and see what I have here is I have my function. My function, which of course f of x here is my vt, and you can edit this to say vt instead, and your x, and you can see how that's to the 1/2, and you don't need all these decimal places if you don't want to include them. The r squared value tells us how close these data points come to the line. Mine is going to be extremely, extremely close to 1, if not 1 itself, because as I mentioned earlier, I'm dealing with perfect data. Yours is probably not going to be close to 1. However, it should probably be above about 0.85, something. I mean, you really want it in the 0.9s to have any sort of decent amount of data. So if something occurred with there, you'd probably want to go back and redo the lab in order to fix that. But there's another thing that you can talk about in data analysis, how r squared value should be close to 1, because basically as these points get further and further away from that trend line there, this becomes less and less 1. Okay, we're almost done here. I just want to show you how to do that linearization I was talking about earlier. So I'm going to go to another sheet which has my same set of data that I had before. And now what I'm going to do is, as you saw from the equation here, M2 is what's causing this not to be a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another column here, and I'll label this square root, if I can, square root of M2. And I'm just going to go in here and do another equation. Set an equals sign, because that tells the computer I'm going to be doing that. And I'm going to say, actually, this SQRT is the function that Excel and OpenOffice uses. And then you got to put a parentheses. So that's going to tell it what the square root is. So I'm going to go over here and click this box, because that's my mass2. Hit enter, and obviously the square root of 0 is 0. So I'm just going to pull that down. And that's going to be all of my M2's squared. Now I'm going to create another chart, just like I would have otherwise. And chart type once again is XY scatter. Good here. Next. And as we just learned a moment ago, this isn't going to be very helpful for us. So we're going to move over right here to data series. Find X values. Put this box to allow us to enter X values. And now, rather than go M2, I'm going to go the square root of M2 here. And then I have my Y values. And then I think it's actually, oh, look at that. Oh, no, it's not. It's not choosing my correct Y values right now. Thought it was. Close. And here's my correct Y values. Oops, here we go. To get VT. And then I move on next. And then finally I add my title. And title, as we've mentioned when we talked about graphs in the beginning, is very important to let people know what the heck you're talking about. So velocity is my Y, and my X is going to be the square root of M2. M2, once again, that's going to be, the X-axis is going to be the square root of M2, and its label is the square root of kg. And my y-axis is going to be velocity, and the units of that are going to be meters per second. Hit finish here, and ta-da! Look, you can see already that this is going to show a line. Move this over here. But just to prove it to you, I'm going to add that trend line just like I did in the last one. So this time, of course, since it's a line, I'm just going to use the linear equation and r squared again. Okay, and it's a straight line. And this, of course, the y-intercept, as we know, should be 0, and it's very, very, very close to 0 with 0.005. The k value, you'll notice, is exactly the same as over here, as it should be. Oops, that's the exact same one. Yeah, that should be the same. But it's the exact same as over here as well, which it definitely should be as well. And then the r squared value, once again, should be pretty darn close to 1, because these data points aren't off here. That's how you can do that. If you have any questions on how to do that, specifically with Excel, feel free to come on in. It should not take me more than 2-3 minutes to show you how to do this with Excel. Alright, thanks. Bye.